Right now, inside of you, a liquid machine is running at full tilt. Every single minute, it processes more than a liter of your blood. By tomorrow, it will have churned through 180 liters, enough fluid to fill a large bathtub. Your cells are constantly producing toxic waste as they metabolize and keep you alive. If this internal machine were to stop, that metabolic byproduct would rapidly build up, and within a matter of days, your body would poison itself from the inside. The only things standing between you and that systemic collapse are two fist-sized, bean-shaped organs tucked against your lower back, your kidneys. Together, they weigh less than a smartphone, yet they consume nearly a quarter of all the oxygen you breathe in. They operate in complete silence, deciding what stays in your bloodstream and what is cast out. Most of us will never even think about them until they fail. Excretion is technically a team effort. Your skin sweats out salt, your lungs exhale carbon dioxide, and your liver processes dangerous ammonia. But the kidneys act as the undisputed masterminds of this entire operation. Slice a kidney open, and you'll find three distinct physical zones. There's an outer layer called the cortex, an inner section shaped into medullary pyramids, and a central basin known as the renal pelvis, where the final waste collects. But the real work happens on a much smaller scale. Zoom deep into that tissue, and you find the kidney's microscopic functional unit, the nephron. Each kidney houses over 1 million of these tiny twisting structures. This is a microscopic gauntlet. It is the precise location where your blood is systematically dismantled, separated, and judged, molecule by molecule. The journey begins with blunt force. Blood arrives at the head of the nephron under intense pressure and is squeezed into a tangled knot of capillaries called the glomerulus. This diagram shows the glomerulus membrane at work. The intense pressure physically shoves water, salt, and glucose out through the microscopic pores of the blood vessels. Meanwhile, large red blood cells and vital proteins are simply too big to fit, so they bounce off the barrier and safely continue down the bloodstream. That brute force sorting creates what is known as raw filtrate. This gauge visualizes the relentless output. Your kidneys produce 180 liters of this raw fluid every single day. But there's an immediate biological problem here. If you actually lost all 180 liters of that fluid as urine, you would run dangerously dry and perish within a single hour. To prevent that, the body initiates a massive rescue operation called reabsorption. As the filtrate moves down the tube, valuable materials like glucose, useful salts, and 99% of the water are actively pulled back into the blood. The kidney doesn't try to carefully pick the individual toxins out of your blood. Instead, it dumps almost everything out onto the table, and then painstakingly takes back only the exact items you need to survive. Once the vital materials are saved, the kidney does a final, targeted sweep. In a step called secretion, the body actively hunts down leftover toxins, drugs, and surplus ions, pushing them straight into the tubule to be discarded. With the waste fully collected, the fluid dives deep into the center of the kidney, traveling down a long hairpin structure known as the loop of Henle. As shown in this model, the loop of Henle pulls a brilliant chemical trick. It actively pumps salt out of the tube, deliberately making the surrounding organ tissue intensely salty. Because water naturally wants to move towards salt, this extreme external environment acts like a magnet. It draws the last vital droplets of water out of the waste tube, leaving the fluid inside dark, dense, and heavily concentrated. That microscopic chemical gradient is the reason you don't have to constantly drink water. It is exactly how you are able to sleep through an entire night without waking up severely dehydrated. The resulting fluid is urine. Out of those original 180 liters of raw filtrate, only 1 to 2 liters emerge. As this chart breaks down, that final output is precisely 95. Because the healthy nephrons pick up the slack, the organs rarely show a single symptom until a massive amount of the damage is already permanent. When the kidneys do fail completely, a machine has to step in. This introduces the grueling reality of dialysis. In dialysis, blood is physically drawn out of the body and pumped through an artificial surrogate. Looking at the sheer scale of the machinery required, you can see what it takes: an enormous, complex apparatus running for several hours, multiple times a week, just to mimic what those two small organs do naturally. The alternative is transplantation. Biology is remarkably generous here, as you only need one healthy kidney to live a completely normal life. A single donated organ, carefully placed by surgeons, can entirely restore a human's failing filtration system. Tonight, while you sleep, your kidneys will process your entire blood supply dozens of times over. They ask for very little. Drink water, manage your blood pressure, and eat a balanced diet. Protect the filters within, and they will quietly keep you alive every second of every day.